It's 40 shillings on the drum for those who...
Hi folks, this is Ridge Runner with a quick tabletop review of the Cold Steel Medium Voyager clip point pocket knife. This is a knife I just ordered a little while ago when it came in. I've always wanted a Voyager, and I found this one on eBay, and it came to me quite quickly. I got it in the mail, and I opened it up, and I'm quite happy with this knife. I was a little disappointed in the size, but it makes for it in features. And let's sit down with me, and you can take a look quick at this knife. Alright, you'll excuse if this is a little bit of a shaky picture, and if this isn't as well prepared. I just got the knife. I really wanted to do this thing. I'm doing this video on my Droid, as my camera is not operational at the moment. We'll start out with the blade, the operational part of the knife. Alright, it's a clip point. It's the pattern that I prefer. I've tried a lot of other ones, and they just haven't done everything I wanted them to do. I like the point. I like the clip point because it's got a nice sharp point for doing small work, small carving tasks and things like that. But it's a strong enough design that it's not going to snap off unless you're really doing something stupid with it. This particular knife, this particular model, has the serrations over one half of the blade. I'm not a fan of serrations, I'm not going to lie. They're hard to sharpen in the field, and so once they go dull, they're pretty much dull, unless you really know what you're doing. That being said, for an everyday carry knife, chances are when you're going to need it most is not going to be in a wilderness survival situation. It's probably going to be around the house, or in the car, or at work. And those serrations, specifically in an automobile accident, could make the difference between you getting out of that vehicle or not. They're great for cutting seat belts and rope and all kinds of other things. So I like them on an EDC knife. This knife's thumb stud is quite nice. It doesn't have any sticky points to it. It just lets you roll that knife open. Let me show you. Alright, let's do this with my right hand, shall we? Because that's my dominant hand. It just opens up like that, and it's very smooth to open. This knife is shaving sharp right out of the box, as all cold steel knives tend to be. No complaints there. The fit and finish on this knife is quite nice for a production model knife. A lot of times when you buy a knife, you'll find that there can be space in here where the spring meets the handle, the grip. Or you're going to find that some of the cheap models, and you'll see ones that look just like this, that are of a much less expensive price range. The price point on this one is about $45 to $50. You might find it a little higher, you might find it a little lower. Your results may vary. But you get what you pay for. Because the main point that makes this knife stand out above the rest, other than the sharp edge, the maintenance of the edge, which Cold Steel is notorious for keeping a good edge on most of their knives when they come from the factory, and they tend to stay that way. I have a Cold Steel SRK that I've had for 15 years now, I'd say, and the thing still keeps a damn good edge, and I've rarely had to sharpen it. What really makes this knife stand out, I'm going back to my subject here, is the lock. That lock really is strong. Now, I've had experience with other cold steel lock blades, so I can tell you that from experience. And that's important in a locking knife. If you're carrying a folding knife for EDC, and most people choose the folding knife, that is a part of the knife that cannot fail you. Because if it does, you're going to look at cut off fingers, or at least a very severe injury. And if you're using it in a survival situation, that could be disastrous. So if you're picking out a knife, one of the things you want to think about is its locking blade. Now, The ones I find to be the most reliable are the lock-back models, like this one here. I carry pretty much exclusively lock-back model knives. As an aside, this is a Ken Onion knife, and it's one of those assisted opening jobs, which is kind of fun. You know, it comes open fast. It's got a nice edge on it, nice blade on it too, but it has this. Now, if you can see that, that is a liner lock, and these things can fail. This one seems to be pretty strong, but I don't want to bet my life on a little piece of metal not sliding back and forth, which if I can do it with my thumb that easily, and I've seen this thing open up on, I've kept it in bags and stuff like that and found it open when I got into the bags, so I'm not a fan of that knife. Contrasting, this is my ADC now. It's a very well-used Spyderco Endura, and it does have that locking blade with a Boyd dent, which I like quite a bit, but anyway, I'm not reviewing that knife. I will tell you, though, that that particular design is what you're going to look for in a good knife. And if you want a good knife, this is the way to go. This does not, however, fall into the camping with no budget category. As I say, it's a $50 knife, and you are spending it on a fairly small knife. Size does matter when it comes to cutlery, but only in only for certain things. For what this knife is designed to do, it is absolutely the most absolutely perfect knife. It is very comfortable in the hand. It's well thought out. There's knurling on the top of the spring here, which allows you your thumb to engage really nice. The grip is very, very, I don't know how to put it, grippy, and but not to the point where it gets uncomfortable. You're not going to feel like after you've done a lot of carving with this that the thing is trying to sand your skin off your hands, and that's important too. It's got a nice little lanyard loop. That's nice, by the way, if you don't choose to carry it in your pocket, or if you, like me, when you're carrying it in the woods, dummy band all your tools to your person so you don't lose it. Now, a note on this clip point. I talked about it before. The grind on this knife, while it's a hollow grind, is very nice. They put their heart into their knives. I can tell that. They're very, very specific about how they like to bring them out of the factory. And cold steel in general, they don't let anything out of their factory that's, at least for their first quality knives, that is anything but first quality. And this one is no exception. They are. I would say that it is a well thought out knife. The last part of it, which is the butt end, I start at the beginning and begin and stop at the end. And this is another point that I like. If you can see, and I don't know if you can see with this particular camera, because it's not the best, the pocket clip, which is quite strong, by the way, is held on by 3 screws. Now, these screws are not some wacky star-shaped whoop-a-majigger type screw. These are good old-fashioned country boy Phillips head screws, which means that you can you're guaranteed to have the tool to tighten this clip when it does get loose, and it will, without having to have any special tools. And that's important. Guaranteed, if you're carrying a Gerber tool in the field with you, it's got a Phillips head on it, and this will work. Well, I'm getting to the end of my time here now, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick tabletop of this particular knife, and I'll reserve my durability comments for when I take it and put it through its paces, which I will in another episode here. Next episode will be on on some very inexpensive yet very functional sheath knives. That'll be part of my Camping with No Budget series, and that'll be coming up very shortly. But thank you for your attention, and Godspeed.